So with most of the work done to the V8 MR2, it is time to turn our attention to installing some gauges so we can read our RPMs and our speedometer. Let's get right to it. Alright, so here are my new gauges I just picked up from Glowshift. Now the idea here is to integrate both of these into the stock gauge cluster from the MR2, and the idea is to have a GPS speedometer as well as a tachometer that'll read well off that LS motor. So let's get the old gauge cluster out of here and we'll see how we can make this work. Alright, here's a closer look at the gauge cluster. Now the idea is to get the tachometer in this place where this was, as well as the GPS speedometer over here. Now the reason I'm leaving the rest of it is because the fuel gauge still works, the ammeter still works, and I do have to try to trick this temperature, water temperature gauge into working as well. So we're gonna get this whole gauge cluster broken down and we'll see what we can do with it. Now that we've pried everything apart, we can slide this face cover off of here, and this gives you access to all of your individual gauges, so you can pull any one of them out of here. So in today's case, we'll be removing the tachometer and then the speedometer. All right, now you can see with those two gauges out of the way, we have this space to work with. So now we can get to our actual Glowshift gauges and see how they're going to fit. All right, we can get our speedometer out of the box. And then a first look at how it's going to fit in here. Luckily, this is a shallow enough device. It's only about 2.5 inches thick. So it will recess in here without a problem. Now on to the tachometer. The tachometer is the same thickness. So we'll try to recess this in here. Looks like it's going to work out just fine. So now we need to come up with a way of mounting these in the actual cluster. All right, so here's the direction I'm going. I made this cardboard cutout template that kind of mirrors the actual face piece, and it'll give me enough material to mount these gauges in. Now the other idea is this is going to fit in here. I'm going to have to clearance the back half of this to make these fit through, and I'm going to cut this material out of some 1/8 inch thick plastic sheet. So it's like a black PVC plastic. Now the idea is it'll hold both the gauges like this. I'll be able to recess it in the actual gauge cluster. And then I'll come back with this provided clamp. This comes up the back side of the actual gauges, and it'll clamp it between the two pieces of material. So we're going to transfer this over to some plastic, and then we'll get this piece cut out. So here it is all cut out, and then when we overlay it into the actual frame of this thing, it fits good, but in the center here, where these check engine lights used to be, it causes a little bit of interference and won't lay flat. So we're gonna come in here next and just remove some material from this so this will sit flat. All right, now that I've clearanced that material, my new little bezel fits right into place. Now I'm just gonna have to come back in with the outer part of the bezel. I'm going to 2-part epoxy this into place. That way it won't wobble around on me and get loose, just a little bit of movement it has. All right, let the epoxy cure overnight. Now I can get all these clamps off of here. Now we'll get this flipped around. There we go, this looks pretty good. Looks like something I can mount the actual gauges in. Now we can move back over to the inner piece and continue to clearance it for the gauge pods to fit in. clearance all this plastic out, I've been able to fit through my actual gauge pods. Everything fits now. The only problem I had was there was interference where the actual wiring harness plugged in, so that may or may not be a problem for me in the future. And then on the front side, gauges are fitting, looking good. I'm kind of not sure if I'd like this contrast between shiny black and flat black, so I may have to fix that later. So now that I'm looking at it, I decided it would just look a lot better if I went and got the matching gauges for the fuel level, as well as a water temperature sensor. Now luckily these things almost fit in the hole, so all I need to do is just hog that hole out a little bit and we'll have all 4 gauges fit into the console. All right, here it is with all the gauges fit into place. And turn this thing around, you can see not a lot of room for error on the back of it. So now that much done, we are going to start with the wiring. All right, now it's time for wiring. So luckily each one of these gauge pods comes with its own wiring harness, and they're all actually the same color wiring scheme. The only thing you need to worry about is the green wire coming off of each gauge, because that's going to go to a specific sensor. Now what we can do to make this a lot easier is kind of bind all these up, and we'll combine all of our yellows to yellows and our grounds together, our powers, and then our light triggers. All right, quick wiring demonstration. I have my red wire here. It's consolidated down to 1 wire. I now have 1 yellow and 1 orange. So I have the red hooked up to positive. This is my black or ground. That's also hooked up to this gator hook right here. So all I need to do now is add some power, and this yellow is the accessory, so it imitates turning the key. And the orange will dim the gauge lights when you turn the headlights on your car. Now there's power. We'll add the accessory. That lights them up. And lastly, the orange will imitate the dimming of the lights when you turn your headlights on. And moving on with the wiring, the water temperature sensor came with this sensor. It also luckily offers with the LS, this is an adapter that fits right into the old style water temperature sensor port, and this will thread right into the back of it. So that makes that much a lot easier. Additionally, this is a tach sensor filter. This might just be needed to clean up the signal coming from the engine that goes to the tach. May or may not need this, but I bought it just in case. And then lastly, this is the GPS sensor to give me the speed for the speedometer. Okay, I got the wiring harness that I made for my gauges. So this runs in, it has leads for all 4 gauges. This big old green one is I don't need for my speedometer. I'm using the GPS. Now, all the way in the back, I have my ground. So all of them are combined to that ground lug. And down the bottom, I have an inline fuse to power the whole system up, as well as the ignition is wired up and the trigger switch for the headlight dim. Now, one thing I had to do, because I can no longer use the circuit board that came with the original gauges, I had to wire in 2 turn signal indicators that'll flash green, so let me know I'm turning left or right, as well as these power leads that'll go to the center gauge that shows me the amp meter or the voltmeter for the battery, and whether or not it's charging. So now that this much is done, we can plug it all in and see if anything works. Okay, the gauge cluster is just all plugged in, so let's see what works. All right, so I got my amp meter working, my voltmeter, all the gauges are lighting up for me. And here's my left turn signal, and there's the right turn signal. So now that I've gotten this far, everything looks good. I do want to address the face of these gauges. Maybe they could look a little better, and maybe make it match all the aluminum that I've made for the rest of the car. All right, got my gauge cluster out, took out all the gauges, made this template, and now I'm going to transfer it over to this sheet of aluminum. I got this rough cut out of aluminum. Now the only thing we need to do now is go back and drill out all these holes. Now we're almost done with this, so one more thing I have to address is right here, there's a line, there's about a 10-degree bend on either side. So I've kind of copied that over to my template. And now we're going to bring that sheet metal over to my brake and make these 10-degree bends. All right, with my bends in place, let's see how this fits. That's pretty spot on. Now I'm going to pull off this protective coat and we'll see how the metal looks underneath of it. All right, everything's together and looking good for the final assembly. Now I can go through and take off these protective coverings on the lenses, because I plan on putting over the plastic shield that goes over top of this. And another thing to note, there are buttons on every one of these that changes the color of the back LEDs. I don't plan on using any changing of the colors. I'm going to use the default color, so that won't cause me any problems. All right, that's everything put back together. Now I can get this installed in the car again. All right, the gauges came out excellent. Now I must admit that that was a much longer process than I thought it was going to be, to install all that, as well as making it the way that I wanted to have it look when it was done. I'm very happy with the outcome of it. I'm very happy with the way the Glowshift gauges actually come out and looked and operated. The wiring on them was really easy to deal with, as well as the compact size of it just made it fit in the application that I wanted it for. Now, if you're interested in buying a set of these gauges, I'll leave a link in the description below, as well as a 10% discount code. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.